I'm going to sum up my trip to Doha and provide tips for those who want to come here for the first time. Before doing all of that, just a note, you can probably tell by my voice, to not go traveling by air, I should say, when you're sick or slightly sick. So for me, it all started back in Sydney a couple of days before departing. I had a bit of a sore throat. I think it must have been from the weather, that cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. And then that progressed down into my chest a bit. On the day of leaving Sydney, it was just a bit of a chesty thing, so I dismissed it. And then taking off to Jakarta, as we were descending, because of the pressurization, depressurization, all that, my ears for the first time felt like they were being drilled into with a drill. It was so painful, and I was so glad that there was no one else next to me in business class to see my facial expressions. I felt it was horrible. So because the ears, the nose, the throat, they're all connected. And if one thing's really off, then the rest are going to cop it. So my ears copped it a lot. And I really couldn't speak. I had a really bad hoarse voice. And then the flight from Jakarta to Doha, same thing. And it took like 2.5 days here in Doha just for me to recover fully. So I couldn't really do much here in Doha. So that's tip number one: don't travel when you're sick or even slightly sick. So I would recommend you book, if you're going economy, let's say, book economy flex, okay? Flexible economy. That means you can, worst case, delay your flight, okay? If in the unlikely event that you get sick. So please don't travel when you're sick or slightly sick. I used to hear about it a lot, and dismiss it, if you're slightly sick, should be okay and all that. No, that's not true. A slight sore throat or chest infection, horrible. So that's that. And then there's the currency. So the currency of Qatar is called the Qatar Rial, QAR for short, sorry. QAR, the Qatar Rial, and one Qatar Rial buys around 40 cents Australian, last time I checked. The currency here is really good. It's similar, if not even cheaper than Bali, I find at times, in Indonesia. Things like your essentials from the corner store, convenience store, quite cheap. Things like snacks you can get for like a couple of bucks, if not cheaper. Clothing, so if you're like me, into the traditional stuff, they've got like the galabeers, they're like 30 bucks Australian here in the street shops, 30 bucks. In Australia, it's like over 100 bucks, which is ridiculous. So, and I don't know why in Australia everything's so expensive. But yeah, like getting the full Qatari, the hatata, argal, and the galabi, that's going to cost you under $50 all up. So it's quite reasonable in terms of prices. The people here are very nice. It's quite multicultural. I find a lot of people from Asia, the Asian region, Indians, even Africans, a lot of Africans here. So it's quite multicultural. Europeans as well. I haven't come into much Aussies because I only had a couple of days of actually really exploring the country due to sickness. Traffic-wise, traffic's good. Much better than somewhere like Sydney, even Bali as well. Better than Bali in terms of traffic. Peak hour, it's usually the usual times. School hours around 2 here, 2 or 3, before 3, 2 o'clock. And the usual 5 and 6 peak hour traffic. And things tend to open a bit late, just like Indonesia, around 10 o'clock, usually for shopping centers, things like museums as well. With the driving here, it's insane. I'd say it's worse than somewhere like Bali. People don't give way here, people don't indicate. And from what I've seen anyway, pedestrian crossings, the pedestrians have to give way to traffic. They don't stop for anyone here, so they keep going. Bit of aggression here in terms of driving as well. So that's going to be a bit of a shock for someone who wants to drive here. I didn't actually drive here, even though I've got an international license. It just didn't appeal to me. Yeah, driving's a bit crazy. Having stayed here 4 days, I would recommend a bit more to explore. I mean, you can get things done in 4 days, but I think you need more than 4 days, like a week perhaps. The highlights for me would be the Souq Waqif, the street shops, traditional street shops. You find things like gold, fabric places, herbs and spices, souvenirs and all that. That's really, really good in Doha. And there's some really good restaurants there. The Damascus One, it's called. It's a Syrian restaurant. It's really good. There's the Villaggio, I think that's how you pronounce it, Villaggio Mall. I'll put the links in the description below. That's the Venice-looking mall. It's got this Venice theme to it. There's also Souk Al Waqrah by the sea in Doha. That's the traditional, it looks like sort of clay-made buildings near the beach in Doha. It's very nice. It's got your traditional things there, women's clothes, men's clothes, accessories and all that. And some nice restaurants by the sea. There's also things like the National Museum of Qatar. That shows you the history of Qatar and all that. And the Museum of Islamic Art as well. They're really nice looking buildings as well. Yeah, and another thing with the architecture here is really, really good. It's stunning. They really take the time to design their buildings and add a lot of nice lights to them, do them up a lot. So for photographers, you'll find it really enjoyable here, a really enjoyable experience. So yeah, first time to Doha, to Qatar, thumbs up. Really nice place, laid back, multicultural, and a lot of activities to do. Yeah, even if you were to stay for like 4 days for a stopover, you'd really enjoy it. I would highly recommend it.